So today we will be creating a very basic Tableau dashboard, or you can say your first Tableau dashboard. I will be using the sample superstore dataset, which you can download from the internet. It's pretty easily available. So if you see here, this dataset contains like customers information, region information, category, subcategory, segments, and sales, profit, discount. These as the metrics. So the topics that we would like to cover today are live versus export connection. I will add few filters just to show you how to add filters in a dashboard using a parameter and using parameter to swap the calculated fields in a visual and some basic formatting. And question that we would like to cover in this video will be sales by states based on this data set. So basically, if you see here, these are the states, then how the sales are performing for each of these states, then sales and profit by category and subcategory, creating a detailed report and using an action filter on this detailed report with respect to the other visuals that we will create, like sales by state and sales and profit by category and subcategory. So let's start. So this is so once you open Tableau, this will be your first page where on the left-hand side you can see all the different connections that we can use to connect to different databases or flat files. So here, wherever you see this to a server, these are all uh, backend data sources like SQL, Snowflake, Oracle, and many others. And then when I say flat file, these are like Excel, text file, JSON file, PDF, and there are many more as well. Tableau server, basically here, suppose if you have some PDFs published already on to the Tableau server, then you can connect to Tableau server and use those PDFs as the data source. But here in today's tutorial, we'll just connect to Excel that I downloaded that I already showed you, the sample super store. So let's start with that. Okay, so as you can see, once I connected to this data source, uh, I can see order, people, and return, three tables over here, okay, which are nothing but the tabs over here in that Excel. So order, people, and returns. So today we'll be using the orders and returns. People, I will exclude. We don't have much data in this. So our major goal will be to use order and returns in order to create this dashboard. So the first step is once you connect to the data source, then you have to drag the tables that you need for your dashboard creation over here. Once you drag it, you will see the data populating over here and all the column details here as well, okay, in the field names. So now, like I said, I will need order and returns both. So what I will do, I will just open it, bring in return as well. And as you can see, Tableau by default join these table based on some common dimensions if available. So if you can see over here, order ID from order table is joined to order ID from return table. And by default, it does the inner join, but actually we don't need the inner join. We'll do a left outer join because if I do the inner join, then only the records which are available in both order and returns that will come. So that will basically just give us the return data. Okay, so we'll exclude some of the order records if we do inner join. So let's go with the left outer join. Connections, I will create an extract rather than live. Although it's a very small data set, so it doesn't matter if you're using a live or extract. So the basic difference between live and extract is if you create a dashboard using a live connection, then whenever you interact with the dashboard, it basically hits the database or the data source with a query. So every time it happens. So it's not very performance oriented, but we can use it if we need like real-time data and if your data volume is very small. Extract we basically use when you have like a huge data, when you're dealing with huge data, and in that case, Tableau cache this data or take a snapshot of the data and store it in a hyper extension file and then use it rather than hitting the database again and again. So let's go ahead with extract. I will click save. Then what happens, it will create an extract. Basically, it will ask me where to save the extract of this file. So I will just save in the default location. So this is done. Now let's go to the worksheet. So you see over here, there are three different icons, right? So first one is this one is for worksheet. The second one is for creating a dashboard. And the third one is for creating a story. So we'll start with the worksheet because dashboard is nothing but combination of different worksheets in one place so that we can expose it to the business users. So here, coming back over here, you can see we already covered live versus export in very summarized terms. Now let's start with creating some visualizations over here. So our first one is sales by state, right? So let's go over here, just double click on state and province. By default, it will open this map visual. Okay. I will take the second format. This is more clear in terms of exposing the data to the user with respect to any KPI. Now just double click on sales. So now you can see uh, this, yeah, basically this data is only for United States. So you can see this country and with respect to different state, we are seeing multiple colors over here. So this color is nothing but uh, how concentrated the sales in that particular state, it represents that. So uh, what it means is that, in California, the sales was highest. Okay. But I think still with respect to color, I think it's pretty hard to let the business users know that, which state is giving the least sales, right? So let's enable some labels on top of it. Label is nothing but it will show you the numbers, or basically the exact sales that happened in that state. So here you can see 671K dollar of sales happened over here in California, right? So we'll keep it as such. I will change a little bit of the color coding because here it's blue and green, which doesn't actually give a lot of insight. So rather than that, let's change the palette to red, green, and gold diverging. Okay. So now you can see green is basically giving you the highest sale, and the darkest red will give you the least sale, and amber or this orange color will give you the intermediate sale. Okay, so this is more insightful. So I will keep it like this. So this is our first visual. I will rename it to sales by state. Second answer that we have to, or basically the second question that we have to answer is sales and profit by category and subcategory, right? So let's open a new worksheet for that. I will drag category and subcategory, and then we had sales and profit, right? So let's drag sales and profit in here. Okay. So you can see by default, Tableau created this tabular chart, which gives me the category, subcategory, sales, and profit, right? So rather than a table, I want it as a bar chart, right? So what we can do, we can come over here and just click on this visual, and For each category, for example, furniture, and the underlying subcategory that is bookcases, chair, furnishing, table, etc. This blue line, this is showing you the sales, and this amber bar, this is giving you the profit. Okay. Again, this is also not very insightful to me without seeing the numbers, right? So let's enable the labels over here. So now you can see for bookcases, the sale was 130K and the profit was negative 3.8K, right? Yeah. So now again, rather than seeing both together, I will use a parameter to swap between sales and profit, right? So if user want to see sales only in a bar chart, they can select sales. If they only want to see the profit, they can do that. So for that, for creating a parameter, come over here, click on create parameters. I will give the parameter name as sales versus profit. Make it as a string. Allowable values, make it list, sales, profit, done. So this parameter is created. I will click on the parameter and then again I will click on this option, show parameter. So it will come over here as sale as a drop down where user can select either sales or profit. But if you see, even though I'm selecting sale or profit, nothing is happening in this dashboard, right? So what actually we have to do, we have to create a calculated field on top of this parameter to make this work. So I will go to this create option, calculated field, again name it as sales versus profit, and I will write an if then else statement. If sales versus profit is equal to sales, then sales, let me do sum of sales, else sum of profit, and then end this. So this is called as a calculated field. Okay. So once I click OK, you can see the calculated field is created here, sales versus profit. Now, rather than using this sales and profit separately, what I will do, I will remove all these things and just click on sales versus profit. Okay. Oh, and I will click here entire view. So now if you see, I have selected profit, it's giving me the profit values. Now if I select sales, it will give me the sales value. Let's enable the label as well. So now it will be more clear, right? Now again, let's enable some color coding on this. So just drag the sales versus profit on this color. Okay, and then you can see that a color has been enabled on this bar chart. Again, make it more insightful by going to the palette. I will again enable the red, green, gold diverging. You can select any one of your choice. Yep. Okay. So by creating this visual, we covered sales and profit by category and subcategory, parameters, calculated field, some basic formatting. We'll do more formatting when we'll create the final dashboard. Okay. Uh, Third question is to create a detailed report, right? So let's create another worksheet. Before that, I will just rename it. And this in this detailed report, I will I will create it like a more granular report, so which will have all the information, product IDs, product name, then let's drag segment, region, state, country, although I don't think we need country, it's only for United States. So let me drag state. Oh, state is already there. And if you want city. So these are all the dimensions. Let me put some more like category and subcategory. So these are all the dimensions. Now I will pull some of the measures. So my measures will be sales and profit. So this is my detailed report. You can drag as much as as per your requirement if you need like more information. Let's drag order date also in here. So by default, if you pull a date field in a report, it it gives you like the year first. But if you want the exact date, then click on the date field, go to exact date, and then again go and click on discrete. So this will give you the exact order date. So a detailed report is also done. Sales by state is done. Sales and profit by category, subcategory is done. Now let's create the dashboard. For creating a dashboard, I will click on this icon, new dashboard, and I will make the size as automatic. Let's do it fixed. Okay, so now first I will pull the sales by state. So you can see the whole map came up, this worksheet that we created over here. And then I need sales versus profit. So I will drag it here. I don't need this legends. That is not adding a lot of value. And just do some basic formatting. And I will make this parameter as floating, and I will bring it on top of this visual. Okay. And then let's bring the dashboard title. I will make it Tableau bold. 20, apply, increase the height of this. This one, by default, it is taking the sheet name, but I will change the formatting. Tableau semi-bold. So apply. Okay. Apply. So we dragged two of the worksheets here, sales by state and sales by profit. Now, if you want the detailed report, right, either you can drag it in here itself, that will make it more uh, clumsy, I would say. So rather than that, I will create a separate dashboard for detail. Again, make this as automatic. This one I will make it as fit width. Okay, and you can set the formatting as you want. So usually we don't prefer like horizontal scrolling in a Tableau dashboard. Vertical scrolling is still fine. Okay, so if you see, I try to not to have like horizontal scrolling in this dashboard. Let me rename this. And this one I will rename as summary. Let me do some more formatting. Bring the borders. So now this is how your dashboard is looking. We can add as many visualization as you can, but since I am creating a very basic video, I will just stick to this. So what we have covered, live versus export, filters I still have to add, parameters, calculated fields, some basic formatting. Uh, Here also we have covered three questions. Action filter is still remaining. So let's add some filter first. So for adding a filter, you can just click on any of the visualization, uh, go to analysis, filters. So currently we haven't added any filter in these visualizations, so you don't see anything under the filter option. You only see category, subcategory, and sales versus profit, which are the dimensions that we bring in, right? So for adding some filters, let's add the filter at the worksheet level first. So I will add it here, sales by state. Some of the filters that we can do is, let's start with category, show filter, then let's add product name, region, segment, state, subcategory. So these will be my filters. So now if you come to the dashboard, you can see, go to analysis, filters. Oh, sorry, click on this one because we have added filters in here. You will see everything over here, right? So let's add one by one. Segment, region, product, category, subcategory, and state. So by default, if you'll see, these filters are showing you all the values rather than that. I think it's better to show them as drop down. So you can click on the filter, you can come over here in this option, multiple values drop down. So users can basically select multiple values and filter will be shown as a drop down. So if you can see, once I select this option, you will see it as a drop down, and here you can do multiple selections. Let's do for all the filters. So now, but the thing is, this filter that I added, right? So this belongs to this worksheet, right? Which we created, this map worksheet. It doesn't, so it will not by default apply to the other one, that is sales versus profit. So for that, there is an option. You can click on the filter. You can go to apply to worksheet, and let's use all using this data source. So in that case, what it will do, it will apply whenever you select this filter, it will apply to all the visualization that you have created in this dashboard. Or you can use selected worksheet. If you do selected worksheet, then it will ask you which all worksheet you want to add to. But rather than going into that, I will just make it as all using this data source. Sorry. Okay. So our filters are ready. So filter is also done. Now the only pending item is action filter. So what is an action filter? Action filter is nothing but basically suppose rather than going into all this filter detail, if you just want to enable a filter on click, suppose if you click on this 29906, that is Minnesota state, and then the whole report as well as the detailed report get filtered only for this particular data related to Minnesota, right? So that click action we can enable using going to the dashboard. There is an option called as actions. Okay, so what I want to do over here is if I click on this 29906 for Minnesota, it should take me to the detailed report and filter this detailed report only for Minnesota. Okay, so that's what I will try to do. So for that, let's go to actions. Under add actions, I will select filter. There are multiple options. I am just going with the filter one. And here I will select say, okay, so let's enable this action filter on both of these visuals. Okay, so my source sheet will be sales by state and sales versus profit, and my target sheet will be detailed dashboard. Okay, and I will enable it on a single select. So for that, I need to select this option, run action on select, single select only, and clearing the selection will show all values. I'll select this. So once you click this, okay, let's save it. Now, if I click on 29906, you see, right, it takes me to the detail page, filtered this whole data set only for Minnesota, right? Similarly, if I want to come here and want to see the data only for furniture bookcases, I can click on this and it will take me over here where the category is furniture and subcategory is bookcases. So okay, so yeah, so that's bring us to the end of this tutorial. Let me know if you like this video or if you want me to create another video with some more basic details. I will add this as well in the next video. But for this video, I just wanted to concentrate on like the first Tableau dashboard that you create, a very easy tutorial where you can cover as much as topics that are needed because obviously this filter parameter calculated field, whenever you create a dashboard, you will definitely use it. And similarly, like some of the basic visuals like table, bar chart, these are also very highly used visuals. So that's why I tried to use that as well in this tutorial. Thank you so much. I think that's bring us to the end of this tutorial. Thank you.